Yeah, there's really only one thing I want to talk about, but like, since I started half an hour late, and it's my shorter streams, and it only gives me an hour, and it's like, well, I don't know what I want to do then, you know? Because I do kind of want to talk about the thing that happened in Michigan. Because I just thought, like, yeah, no, that was real bad. It was very bad. But I think after hearing some other perspectives, I'm gonna remain cautiously optimistic and just hope that it's just the case where Kamala, for some reason, thinks that it's gonna be bad for electability if she goes pro-Palestine. Which, again, I feel like polls show that, like, that's not the case. And also I feel like it'd just be weird for people to be like, oh, I'm not voting for this person because they're not supporting genocide anymore. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't think those people, you even wanted those people in your base, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. Because it's just such a bad move, man. You gotta get Wisconsin, Michigan if you want to win. And that sure ain't doing it. You know? It sure ain't helping. But yeah, again, I'm just gonna remain cautiously optimistic because I do know in the immediate aftermath of that, yeah, I was super frustrated with that. I tweeted, I think, like 5 times, which is like I think the most I've tweeted in back-to-back cases. I think because the main thing was just that, like, liberals were like, oh man, look how she handled that protester, and it was really stupid because it's like, hey, it's actually a good point. And also, like, a pretty crucial part of your base if you want to get elected. It's like having a response like that is not great. It's very bad. Yeah, hopefully something changes that makes it so she get at least some of that base back. Because otherwise it's gonna be real rough. Yeah, I saw, like, projections of, like, how all the states are doing, and actually, as of today, Trump would actually win. And, like, he's actually up on some of the swing states pretty handedly, which is interesting. But yeah, it's real weird. It's like, yeah, all the momentum is on Kamala's side, so it's just so weird to still see, like, polls being like, oh yeah, no, Trump will win. I mean, to be fair, if we didn't have the electoral college, like, yeah, Kamala would win, absolutely. And, like, the thing in Michigan ultimately wouldn't have mattered all that much, because, like, yeah, she's definitely going to win the popular vote. But it's just weird, you know, that, like, just looking at it, it's like, oh no, Trump is actually, like, still in the lead technically. It's just something. And again, this polling, like, it's not set in stone. Obviously there's some error in it, and, like, the percents aren't, like, completely accurate, but again, it's just still weird to, like, look at and be like, huh. So, like, just look at these polls, they still have Trump winning. That's weird. Got a half an hour ago and I'm still burping. Yeah, I still will say, like, no, what she said, that really was terrible. Like, while I'm still, like, I'm loosening up about it a little bit, I'm trying not to get, like, overworked about it, because, like, it shot my day down, like, entirely until I saw that. And then once I had that change of a little bit of, like, changing up and, like, softening my stance on a little bit, that made me feel a little better. But yeah, that sure was something. Oh, actually, I guess another thing too, because I was just, like, watching a lot of other, like, honestly, like, newer, like, well, not newer, but just, like, smaller leftist YouTubers I haven't seen. Like, I was starting to get recommended a few more of them. And when I was looking at, like, one was talking about abolition, and, like, the more I was, like, listening to him, I'm like, hey, man, I might actually be, like, an abolitionist. Like, I didn't realize it, but I might actually be one. because like, yeah, I always am like, well, imprisoning them does freaking nothing, which is what abolitionists like argue as well. They also argue it's inhumane, which, I mean, yeah, throwing them in like they're animals, you know. I mean, I guess humans technically are animals, but like looking down at them and all that, and also like, yeah, you're not. They also put up a good point, like, you're not helping the person that was affected, other than like emotionally, kind of, you know, kind of emotionally. Like they're not getting reparations at all, other than that. Unless it's like a civil case, I'm pretty sure. I think those will typically deal with money. But other than that, like if it's like a essay or a murder case, like, yeah, no, you're not getting any reparations. They're also like, hey, maybe we should, you know, give the victim something also to make up for it. I think they actually want like the person who committed the crime to do that too. But I think it's like also after they're rehabilitated, obviously. Yeah, when I was like listening to it, I was like, man, I agree with like most of this. I think I might actually be an abolitionist. But that is something I probably can think of, like, especially in America, that would hurt your electability if you ran off on that. Would be abolitionist. I mean, like, even defunding the police, man. It seems like that's an electable position. Which is stupid, but... propaganda, man. Propaganda. I guess the thing, it only happened for a month, and I think even in that span, like, it showed the crime rates going down. It's like, hey, this is working, and then they brought it right back up. And so, like, they're like, oh, well, you know, they just make these excuses, and it's just like, oh, great. That's awesome, man. I do think, though, that, the debate will definitely help them out a lot. Especially Walls and Vance debate. My god. That would definitely be the more fun debate to watch. Because it wouldn't even be a debate. It'd be a one-sided... be completely one-sided. Like... it'd be insane. Like, that might be something I actually watch, because I don't typically watch like that. Honestly, like, even when I see the clips, I don't listen to them. Oh, you can. But that might be one where I actually, like, listen to the clips. Yeah, I think the only time I really listen to news clips is when I'm watching Hassan, because he's reacting to news clips. Or just the news in general. Like, that's what that is. You know, I was thinking about like making like shorts of me just talking about like other creators. And then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. That seems like very lame. Like a lame way to gain viewers. But then I realized people just react to more popular stuff. And that's also how they like gain popularity as well. Hassan is different because he actually will give his own knowledge and like actually add to it. Because he's a political analyst. So like, what is he gonna do? Not watch the news? Like, that's crazy. Like, yeah, he'll add some extra to the video. Or whatever he's reacting to. Yeah, a lot of those people, man, they just will react to like bigger creators and then just kind of become pretty popular for that. I think it's like good to do like every once in a while, but like if you make your whole brand off of that, I feel like that's kind of, I don't know. Because I guess another part of it too is like, I feel like you go so far in, like that's just kind of what you're known for, so then you just kind of have to keep doing it. So I feel like it's kind of a fine line, you know? It's kind of hard. because like now I'm thinking about some people, it's like, yeah, most of their content is React stuff, but it's probably just because like it does super well. Well, and also I'm sure they enjoy doing it. Because I mean, like, yeah, they enjoy doing it. I mean, I think if they just got like credit. Because I think that is the main problem a lot of those people have often, like the creators that are in those videos that they're reacting to. It's just like they want credit. Especially if they're smaller. Because obviously they probably wouldn't know them as much. If they're like bigger, like Hololive, you probably know most of the Hololive people. Especially if you're like in the VTuber sphere. I feel like you should know like most of them. I mean, I say that, but I only watch EN. I only know a few of JP. I think I can name most of ID, but it's like mostly the ones that interact with EN. So like, yeah, no. I just only watch EN because I can only speak English. I am an ignorant white boy who doesn't know how to speak any other language. You know, I think I've said this before, but I think like 5 years before I was in high school or something like that, maybe even longer, they used to offer, because now my school just offers Spanish, but they used to have Japanese and French. And then they took away Japanese. I think actually it was like 5 years before I went to high school that they took it away or something like that. They took away Japanese. And then I think the year before I was going to go into high school, they took away French. And why that was so upsetting is that the top 2 languages I want to learn is Japanese and French. Like those 2 have actually been languages I wanted to learn. And yeah, they both weren't there anymore. Like, awesome, dude. Fantastic. I feel like they should honestly have like the foreign language classes like earlier on. Because that's when like your brain picks up on it a lot easier. Like, I don't know. I feel like with high school, it's honestly like harder. Especially when you're dealing with harder subjects also. I feel like if you still have like the easier subjects you're worrying about, and like also if you're learning English, because I do know it's better to learn stuff at a younger age, because I think you grasp it quicker. But I don't know if like, let me see, learning 2 languages at the same time. Multiple. Yeah, learning multiple languages at once bad. Learning 2 languages at once is beneficial, or at least not harmful. Okay. Yeah, so it's not bad. Yeah, so like, it wouldn't hurt if they put it in elementary while you're still learning English to like also allow other. It was weird though too, because I remember my elementary freaking, they had like 5 languages or something like that, and we had like a day where we just kind of learned like a couple words and like all that. I think it was to get us into like the idea of learning a foreign language, but like that was it. And the thing is, my school didn't even offer like some, because one of them was Chinese. They didn't offer Chinese, so I'm very confused with what the whole point of that thing was. Again, my only guess would be like make you excited to learn a foreign language, but I have no idea. Because like at least if like it offered every single language, then I feel like I would understand it. Like it would make sense, but like yeah, it didn't even offer, because I think there was 5 languages, and obviously at that time it would have been like 3 languages they offered. So yeah, no, like 2 of them they just didn't offer. Like, I have no idea. Sorry, I'm just reading more about this because I just saw it from like the Google stuff. Oh yeah, that does make sense because like the hard part obviously is learning the words, and then once you know words, you can put them in sentences, and then like you can form sentences after that, and then it's a lot easier. Yeah, that makes sense. So like yeah, I think if you start out like learning both of them at the exact same time, like, although it says there's not an advantage, because I'm gonna say like maybe not learn them both at the beginner level, like have one at intermediate and then start learning, but it doesn't seem like that's actually the case. Oh, they found the students learning 2 languages at the same time were actually more motivated to learn English than the students who are only learning English. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I wish I'd like could have done and like learned when I was younger. Other ones are like drawing and like musical instruments. But it's just I never took the chance on those, man. I just kind of let them slip by. And like the thing is, I can still learn them. It's just like obviously it's gonna be harder. Obviously, when I was younger, I could have gotten those abilities a lot easier. But I mean, I guess Rara was probably an adult when she started learning English, because she said she didn't speak English like at all 4 years ago. I mean, yeah, it's obviously still not gonna be perfect, but to be fair, a lot of native English speakers' English are also not perfect, so this is also like I feel like I'm an example, you know, that sometimes I just can't think of the right word, or like I don't know. Although I think my English is bad just because of how my brain works. I think, you know, if my brain wasn't so like if I wasn't so scatterbrained, then I think my English would be a lot better. That's my thing. It's like I just kind of stumble, and I think I just yap. So then that just makes it so like my brain doesn't fully process what I'm saying. So then sometimes I don't say words correctly. I think that's probably what it is. I did see also another video of like VTuber past lives. How like that's kind of becoming not as taboo as it once was. And yeah, I think it definitely is interesting and interesting to talk about. Sorry, I feel a burp coming on, so that's why I'm not like fucking like getting into it super quickly. But yeah, I think definitely like the past lives of VTubers is definitely a case by case basis, and also if the like VTuber themselves are okay with it, you know, I think then you can talk about it. And I think also because I think this is something that's become a lot more prevalent and people are starting to pick up on, like since probably COVID. I mean, just like with the super like sudden rise of content creators because of COVID, with parasocialness, because like it's not something I really thought about until after COVID, when like content creators obviously like became like really popular. So like the only time I can remember on Super 4 COVID is I think when TRG was playing Mario Party 4, and I think Emil was getting comments of like, oh, I can't wait until he like uploads or something like that. And then John pointed out that like he hadn't uploaded for like 2 days. He said, what's wrong with your audience? That's like the only time I can think about with parasocialness. And I think actually what caused it and people are noticing more also is with VTubers, because that's also when VTubers became really big, was like after 2020, like after COVID. So I think that's when people are saying, no, it's like, oh, this is like kind of an issue. And like I think Japan has kind of had that issue for a while, because it seems like it's even crazier in Japan than it is like here, which probably means that like it's entered like a further stage of like parasocialness, you know, like this, it's gone further in, whereas America's like, there's still like some people that are like, yeah, they're kind of crazy and like kind of obsessive, but I don't think that it's gonna be as bad as this in Japan, you know. But I think soon we're gonna have to learn and like freaking was it inform people about parasocialness and like how to control it, maybe. I don't know where to go from that though, because like I feel like parasocialness is just like human nature, honestly, especially when like they're like streamers, and like I'm sure I've been open in my life, so like if people were to go back and check my life stories, they would associate with me closer, you know. So like whenever you're just telling stories about how your day has been going or something like that, like yeah, you feel like part of the conversation, you feel like a friend to that person. The problem is that, well, yes, you're seeing the person, or like the VTuber, like the avatar on the other side. What the streamer is seeing is a screen with a bunch of different names. and oftentimes I think they see him also as just like one huge blob as well. Like they don't see him as like individual people. I mean, I think especially if you have those chats that just will spam the same thing at one after another, then like, yeah, I think definitely those people would see chat as like one huge blob. But yeah, they also don't know anything about you, so like they can't really be friends with you, you know. And I think there are some streamers who are parasocial towards their chats as well. It's just obviously it's gonna be a lot more common on the other end. And I'm sure also if you have a smaller chat, you're more likely to be parasocial to them. I think if you have a big one, like obviously it's gonna be harder to be parasocial towards them. Because I think it's more on the individual level that it's a lot easier to hit it. And yeah, I guess maybe like the people who see chat as one huge like blob, that those also probably be more likely to see it, like have a parasocial relationship with them, because they see it as one entity. But if you see them as like several different people, it's probably harder to. I don't know though. I don't have a chat. I'll be honest. I'm just sitting here, nobody watching. Like, I feel like honestly, like the psychology of parasocialism is something that probably should be looked into more. Just like seeing how VTubers, it seemed to like amplify with it. I mean, it doesn't even have to be VTubers or even people who've like shown their faces, you know, like, or didn't even have anything and they just had the gameplay with their like voice, and they were just parasocial that way. So yeah, I feel like that psychology is something that'd probably be really interesting looking into. And I guess like circling back around to like the past lives thing, which is why I brought that up, is obviously people would take it way too far and like dox them and try to like, you know, I'm sure like go to their house or something, or even be super really like obsessive and be really bad and very harmful to the person. So yeah, I think it's just circling back around with that. Also, if we found a way to deal with that, so we didn't have people that are like that crazy, I'm sure also people wouldn't be as afraid, because obviously like the agency ones are gonna have to like nod because they're signed into contract, so like obviously there's nothing I can do about that. And I'm sure they're very aware of it, signing those contracts. It's probably why honestly I wouldn't do good in an agency, because I feel like I'd have to just like leave this behind, and I just would want to constantly keep talking about it, because again, I'm a very open person. I think that's like the main reason I wouldn't sign, because I think I'd said before it was like my politics brain, which I think that is a big part, but I think another big part is even if I didn't have to like talk about politics a lot, like if we were in like a world where I didn't have to stress over that. I'm just a very open person and talk about a lot of stuff in my life, so yeah, I think that also would be an issue. And I'm sure like I'd accidentally like break the contract at some point, which like sucks, but I get it. They want to like still have as like an immersion thing, and you don't want to like break reality, you know. I get it. It's just I do not fit in it at all. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it though, VTubers really is just like the professional wrestling world of like content creation. You know, like it's the professional wrestling of content creation. It truly is. Because yeah, they also have kayfabe, and it's probably because I feel like wrestling kayfabe at this point honestly is like it's in the toilet. Unless obviously like it's the product. I mean, obviously you got to keep it then. But like, I'm pretty sure even like WWE on their main channel has like Cody Rhodes interviewing people, and I think that's their own selves. I think also they help out with Up Up Down Down, which is Xavier Woods' gaming channel, and obviously all of them I think are themselves there. So like, yeah, kayfabe isn't that big of a deal, but I think what the main difference is with wrestling compared to VTubing is, one, people aren't probably as obsessed with them as like VTubers, because I think what's different with VTubers is that they still see them as like fictional characters, as like cute anime girls or something like that. So they're obviously going to be more keen on being like much more deranged, you know, in that way, because they're still going to see them as fictional. Whereas like obviously with the wrestler, you can see their body, and you can see their physical appearance, you know, so you can tell that they're a person. And I had a second point, I forgot what it was, but I think it was along those lines. Oh yeah, because yeah, you can see them. That was another one too. Like you know what they look like, so even if they're out in like public, like you can just say hi to them. I think that's probably the main thing with VTubing, is also why they're so obsessive, is because like you never will get like that picture or something like that, because you won't know who they look like, you know. So I think that's probably what it is as well. Because like yeah, obviously if you just see like a wrestler or something like that, and you'd be like, hey, it's that guy. Like you can spot him out in public, but with VTubers obviously you can't. And I feel like it brings up a great point of, I feel like a lot of the times the reason they're VTubers is because they still want that privacy and don't want people to know. That is the main reason. So like, yeah. It's also why I find it like weird when people are like, oh, it's cringe if you have a VTuber but don't watch anime. Because like, I don't, like, what do you want me to use then to like express myself? Because that's another thing, like, it hides yourself but like expresses you with a character that you probably would, you know, be with more, or like associate with more, like bond with more. I can't think of the word. Again, not impersonate, but connect to more. That's probably what I was looking for. So like, yeah, they're also looking for that. So like, I feel like it's just kind of weird when you're just like, oh, people being VTubers when they haven't watched anime is weird. It's just like, okay. I mean, I'm just using this so I can express myself, you know? That's all I'm doing. I don't know why there has to be this, like, this gate. Just blocking people who haven't watched anime. Because that's another thing, too. You can play anime fighters, like Guilty Gear and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some Guilty Gear players who've not watched any anime. And, like, that's fine. There's people who played Fire Emblem. I'm one of those people who played Fire Emblem and hasn't watched any anime. You know? Like, I feel like it's just whatever. I mean, like, that's something that I just feel like doesn't really matter. And honestly, I feel like if you are a VTuber who doesn't watch anime, then like, hey, that's something unique about you. I mean, because I just don't see them as any different, especially when like I'm watching like Hololive. I'm just like, yeah, they're just like, especially like Fauna. Like, yeah, Fauna's just like the same as like any other streamer. I don't understand what the difference is. She just has an anime girl like portraying her. Like that's the only thing that's different. A character that she connects to more is like, and that's how she wants her brand to be perceived. And it's like, great. Like, I don't understand this whole like gatekeeping. It's really weird. Like I get it can be off-putting because again that is the norm. But like I feel like honestly it's not that big of a deal. Like if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry, but I just don't know, man. Honestly. I feel like me talking about it that much makes me thinking like I care about it a lot, but like again, I feel like with a lot of these when like I mention stuff about this and go in depth about it, I just care about the people who care about it so much. It's the same with censorship in like video games when they freaking go up in arms over it. Because like I don't care enough about the topic. It's like whatever, you know. I don't care. But I do care about the people who act like it's like the biggest issue ever. It's like, okay, all right, how about you go and touch some grass, man? It's freaking insane. Yeah. Like, God, the censorship in video games thing is so stupid. Like, that's the thing. That's why I care about and talk about it. I care about why other people feel that way. And, like, it's freaking stupid how they feel that way and not the topic itself. Like, the only reason I give points about it is because of those people. Otherwise, I wouldn't care about it at all. Because it's a non-issue. I'll be completely honest. And like, yeah, I think in the beginning, I was like kind of like anti-censorship. But that's just because everybody in like that space would just be anti-censorship. So it was just kind of being in the crowd. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've just like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like, especially since it's media and there's so much other media you can go to, you know, if you want to have that kind of content. Which is also why I just think it's weird when people comment on like censorship and all that. Because like there's other media that can fulfill that for you. I feel like it's fine if it's just censored. Like that specific media is censored. Like, I don't know, man. It's so odd. Or like also there's just mods that will do that for you. Like, and we live in a world where there's modding. Like you can probably just make a mod that just uncensors it. Have you seen how many like freaking swimsuit mods there are for like Street Fighter? Like Jesus. Like people do not care. Like that's another thing why people like are freaking out about it. It's like, okay, just install a mod then that like makes it uncensored because someone probably will do it. I don't know, man. What are we doing? Doesn't make any sense. Ugh. Yeah. I think there was something earlier before I got on the censorship thing that I wanted to also add on to, but I forget what it was now. Yeah. Hey, I mean, I think this is the most I've been yapping about other topics that haven't been politics in a minute. I think what's also helped though is that I didn't drive tonight, so that probably also helped. Because yeah, I think any day that I'm streaming where I'm going to drive, I'm going to mention it and then complain about cars. So yeah, that's probably why honestly you won't hear me talking bad about cars on my Sunday and Tuesday streams, but on my Wednesday and Friday streams you will. Probably. Yeah. I mean, I think on my Sunday ones I do, but that's usually when like I don't have like anything to talk about, and then I'm remembering I have to do that. So as long as I keep my mind off of it, and like, yeah, I don't have to worry about it. But I think on my Tuesday streams I'm typically pretty occupied, so I won't mention it that much. Although I was gonna move up to 7:30 in like a month from now, I think. So then I'll probably complain again. Who knows? I just don't like complaining, but like, God, there's so much wrong with the world. It's like the only way you can fix it is if you do complain about it, you know? Because you bring up like valid freaking like conversations in the world. It's also why like the protesters like sharing their voice at that rally was really good, because they're saying like, hey, this is an issue, maybe we should talk about it. Like, this thing also I don't understand with like the people who are like just against the protesters, because first of all, I have no idea what they've done, and like for these people to be like, oh well, this has gone too far. Like, what did, I'm sorry, but what did they do? I'm pretty sure they just like protested on a few campuses. I mean, yeah, I guess they like put food coloring in like the water at like the DC fountain or something like that, but like you do realize they're getting more like destructive with their protests, because what's going on in Gaza is getting more destructive. You like, you know, those are like correlated, right? Or like at least like your like extended like abstinence, you know, that's what's making it worse. It's the government, not I said your, but I'm saying like the government's is what I meant. Like extended abstinence of just like not doing anything. So like if you just let them have it, then like, hey, they're just gonna like stop pretty much. You know, it's honestly that simple. It's like, if you want those people to stop protesting, then like give them what they want, you know? Like that's all you gotta do. Yeah, that was another thing I saw with the abolition thing, is that prisons have also been used basically to like suppress social movements. It does make me wonder though what you do with like right-leaning like fascist protests, like with what happened like Charlottesville, whatever. Like it does make me think about what you need to do, but that is the thing with abolition, is like there's multiple ways to like solve it. Like a jail cell is not the answer. Like there's different ways. That's basically what the idea is. There's no one concrete answer to all of it, right? There's many different like answers. And also like house arrest and anything similar like that also is not the answer. So yeah, you need to figure out like what works best for that person to help them be like rehabilitated. I think that's what like an abolitionist's mindset is. Yeah. Yeah, it would also make sense though of like how I felt about criminals. And then also how like even though it's fictional, I've looked at like the Justice and Advents like thing. Like, oh, Justice want to catch Advent, but then when I looked at it, and like Advent basically just all became weebs. I'm just like, well, they're not gonna cause trouble anymore. What's the point? Because I was also the same way with that, of like someone doing a crime, and then I think like 30-40 years later or something like that, they got arrested for that crime. And I was like, well, they haven't done anything else, so why are you arresting them? Because like they've already, like, they're not doing it anymore. Like, if they're still doing it, yes, arrest them, but like they doing anything. I mean, yeah, I think giving them reparations, like the victim's family, giving them reparations for it, but it's just super odd to me when stuff like that happens. If it's just like an isolated incident that happened like 30 years ago or something like that, and you like bring that back up and arrest them because of it. Now I think why that happened is because it was a murder, but it still, like, it was like a solo thing. So like, to me, like, yeah, maybe work on rehab a little bit, because like I'm sure they're not 100% mentally, but yeah, I don't know, it just still seems odd to me to just be like, well, you're getting thrown into a jail cell for the rest of your life. Even though like they showed very clearly that they didn't do it again afterwards. Like, I don't know, it just kind of irks me. But yeah, that's why, like, whenever I look at it, I'm like, they really don't need to go back to jail. I mean, like, they really don't. They just became weebs, or were like not even like in there for like kind of just like alright reasons, and then that was it. Like, I don't think you need to put him back in jail. What is that gonna accomplish? I mean, one of them is American, so. War and crime, baby. Ronald Reagan. I should learn like something, you know. I think I need to do that. I guess I'm learning how to drive, but like, I'm saying learn something that I want to learn. That's probably gonna be good for me to do. I guess I was learning like Tekken. That is something I was learning, but I was thinking more of like not like a game or something like something externally. I mean, I guess that's like kind of weird to like phrase it like that, but I mean, like, outside of like not digitally, I guess is kind of what I was referring to with external. Like, internal I was referring to as like digital. So like helping my singing voice, like, I mean, I guess learning like DAWs is digital, but it's like making music, all that. I think I need to start uploading shorts again, because yeah, people aren't gonna see me, man. I need to, and like, since I'm mostly talking about stuff, I need to throw that in there, like, just make shorts of this stuff. Like, I need to. I can't just like sit around any longer and just hope that something's going to change. I need to do something. Like, honestly, the talking's probably not gonna be that bad, because realistically, I can just throw in subtitles and call it a day. That's like all I need to do. Because if I make them shorts, then they're just gonna be vertical, and I'm already standing, I think, in like not big enough to where you can see my whole thing. So like, yeah, it's actually, I'm in a pretty good spot where I can just, like, if I want to, throw in subtitles, and that's it. That's a short. Yeah, I probably need to put in subtitles. Because like, yeah, some people may like not hear what I'm saying, and obviously it's gonna be better for me to do the subtitles, because I probably would remember what I was saying in that moment. That is the one thing downside from like having clippers do subtitles compared to like you personally, is like, obviously they're gonna have to interpret themselves and like kind of fill in those holes, whereas if you the person were doing it, like, obviously you probably would know. Because obviously there have been a few times where clippers have mis-subtitled something, and like, it's not the biggest in the world, but it is kind of like, yeah. It's a little off-putting. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't take away from the clip at all. It's just like, oh yeah, I think they said this. Like that's kind of what happens in my brain when I feel like they miss subtitle something. It's like, oh, I think I actually said that. And you will often see like in a lot of those like the comment section of all those clips of being like of like correcting as well. Which I think it is good to correct those people because like yeah, I think a few of them like especially with, like Hololive clippers, a few of them are Japanese or like English is not their primary language. Seems like they're ESL. So you also help them learn English that way as well. Which is kind of neat. Yeah, I guess my thing though of like wishing I learned stuff like when I was younger is kind of dwelling on the past, and I shouldn't be doing that. I should just be going like focusing on the present and the future. Especially I want to make this a career. There's no point in dwelling on the past. Like saying that like I've done nothing for like 3.5 years, that does nothing. I just need to focus on the here and now. Like yeah, the downside to like having been on here for 3.5 years and then like if I were to say to like get affiliate or something like that, so then like people can sub to me now, is like it won't be entirely accurate of like how long I've been going for. Because I feel like for some people like that is the case because they got it pretty early on, but I am not gonna be one of those cases. Actually, I think it is. My case is probably more common where it's gonna taken me a few more years, especially in like this era. Taking me a few years until like I actually like get a following. Because I think content creation is a world. I mean, I think like the creative world in general is, in order to be successful, it takes a lot of luck starting out, but then after that, it's how you capitalize on it. Which I think I had a moment, like there was one time I had a moment and then I missed it. I missed my opportunity. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm gonna keep stopping though, because I enjoy doing this. Like that's the thing why I don't do shorts, is because I don't enjoy making them. But like at least like subtitles, because it's just like kinda. Although honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. I think it's just like, man, I'd rather be watching videos right now. And like obviously if you're watching something, you can't really like listen to something in background, because I think I've said before, like I think honestly if I could listen to music while editing, like it would be a lot better. But like I feel like since like it would get in the way of me editing, like I'd have to put like super low in order for me to like do both, because obviously I'm gonna have to edit like what I'm saying and all that, especially if I'm making subtitles. I have to pay attention to what I'm saying, so or like know when I'm stopped talking so I can put like a cut in that spot. It's like, yeah, that sucks. I'm sure if I include like legitimate edits, and like yeah, I could probably listen to music a lot easier, because then I'm just like making the edit. But otherwise, like with what I do, where I just like cut basically and like that's it, and maybe put subtitles in, like that's it. Like I don't think it makes a lot of sense to like listen to music while doing it, or like watch someone else. I guess I could have their stream still up, it's just that I have them muted. So I feel like if it was like a VTuber, then like I'm not gonna, like unless they're playing a game, I'm not gonna get like what's going on, obviously, if something happened on the stream. Or someone like who doesn't have a face cam and they're just talking. But I mean, yeah, just with how I edit, like I don't think there's gonna be any way for me to like be able to listen to music. Like again, I think it'd be at like the quietest. Like I could barely hear it in order for me to do both. Because I feel like also I don't sound that great over, like over my mic, and a lot of times like words just like aren't super clear. And like the thing is, I've seen other people use this mic and like it sounds super clear and all that, so like that's why I'm thinking like my mic settings aren't right. Because like I don't think it's just my voice sounds weird, and like I'm not used to how my voice sounds. I think it's legitimately like I have some mic settings not right, which is weird because I literally watched a video on like what mic settings I should be using. Like I don't know, man. That's like the main reason that's keeping me from like doing karaoke. Because it's just like, well, it's not gonna sound great, you know. That's why I don't want to do it. Well, and also I think there's a little bit of anxiety that goes into it. Those people be like, "Ah, you suck at singing." I mean, nobody watches me, but like, it would probably be something that got brought up. I think another thing though, with like me wanting to like learn how to sing better, is just like I get like embarrassed, I guess, to like sing around other people other than my brother, because I don't think he cares. Or at least I should say while my brother's home. Well, he probably cares about me singing, but how good it sounds, I don't think he cares. So like that's the main thing. I forgot what I was going with it, but yeah, I get embarrassed, so like I don't really want to sing. Like I think Ame is the same way, right? That's why she was like setting up like a thing for when she can do karaoke, right? Because she doesn't want her family to hear her singing. Which I feel like that's gonna be the case with me then at that point, because I'm sure Ame is a way better singer than I am. And she still feels that way. Like, yeah, I can only imagine how I probably only do karaoke's like when my mom's not home then. Oh no, I think it's just because like honestly like I get embarrassed when my mom compliments me, which is kind of weird, but like whenever she just like says a compliment or something like that, I just get like kind of embarrassed. I don't know. Maybe it's a guy thing. I have no idea. Yeah. You know, it's crazy that I've been yapping for this long and not talk about politics. I said it earlier, but I was not expecting that. Honestly, I was expecting to like yap about the thing I said at the beginning and then maybe like go into something else. I mean, probably not, but maybe. At least like looking. But I didn't even do that. I just kept talking. Well, it's because also like I thought I only had the one thing I wanted to talk about, but then like obviously like two more things got added, and then like that third thing I jumped onto more things about. So yeah, that made it a lot better. So there's that. Yeah, I might end it because I don't know if I can think about anything just like for 4 more minutes to like think to talk about. I don't know. I don't think so. I guess I'll just add again. Like I just hate that my obsession is freaking politics. Because I feel like it's a blessing and a curse, and like, cause like I like informing people, and like it'd be nice if I could inform people to be like, oh yeah, no, this is bad. So like, then that's one less person who might like vote for like a fascist thing or something like that, you know. Or like vote for progress. But also it's just like having to go through all of this freaking like sadness and just like complaining like this bad news, and it's just like god dang it. And also like obviously there's some other things like I don't find political jokes funny. Like that wasn't my main thing actually with like the billion like throwing Vettel joke. It's just like I feel like it's based on the foundation of misogyny, so I just don't find it funny at all. I saw Honey made an animation of it. I'm sure it's great. It's just like I don't find the joke funny because I just feel like it's based in misogyny. And it's like, oh man, sick joke, dude. And it's like, yeah. Because like I feel like even though I point out like one literally did parkour when they were younger and the other literally works on AI and just drinks alcohol all day, it's like it's really not surprising that Fillion can throw Vettel, you know, or like arm drag. Also, I just want to point out, it's not a suplex. It was like an arm drag. Like I haven't seen any suplexes like what was being shown. That is the upside of having a Fillion having a 3D model, is like just looking at it, that was not a suplex. And I would know that because I watch wrestling. That was not a suplex. Just like seeing how it was at most an arm drag. Or like the judo thing where they throw you over the shoulder. I can't remember what that is. Is it just a judo throw? That's what it's called. But yeah, that's it. It wasn't a suplex. Like, come on. Yeah. It'd be funny though if I made Fillion freaking 2K24 and her finish as an arm drag. Just an arm drag. No, I think someone made Fillion. They made so she just flipped around all the like a bunch, which is smart. I don't know what's going on out there. Yeah, there's one thing Fillion's probably known for, is flipping around a lot. And I think landing it most of the time. But yeah, I think that's just what bugs me with the Vito and like Fillion like joke of the like Fillion tossing Vettel. It's just because like come on, it's like not even that crazy. Honestly, it's not that surprising to me. And then it just has like some like, it feels like it just has some misogyny sprinkled on it. And like I don't want to say like to start drama, obviously, because a lot of people find those stuff funny. I'm just saying I personally don't. You know, that's just me though. Yeah, that. I guess I did find something to talk about for 5 minutes. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I think I will end the stream now. It was under an hour, although I think, like, wasn't my last Friday one like an hour? Yeah, it was, oh, that was an hour 4. This one's gonna be under an hour, at least on the VOD. Oh. Oh god, I'm burping a lot. Oh jeez. Oh, there's another one. Awesome. Great, dude, I love that. Yeah, outro time, okay. I'm just burping this, sorry. Yeah, again, I'm just gonna have to remind myself that I can't do this as an outro, once again people watch me, but for now I can. Well, I should actually, there might be a way I could. Maybe. Let me see with sources. I should probably be looking at this off stream, but I'm probably not gonna think about it. I mean, maybe it's possible to make something like that. It might be possible. But anyway. Yeah, you saw this stuff. Then the thing is, all platforms, Ironwolf 6464. So yeah, see you Sunday then. I'll probably play a game. Goodbye.